Hey everybody, welcome to Talking Horses Saturday edition. Greg Wolf, Sarah L. Bodway, as we get set for this card coming up. My last show of the year.
I was going to ask. This is it.
This is it. I'll be here tomorrow doing Prattles, but we have no show tomorrow, of course. So yeah, I'm going to try and go out with a bang here. We got a 9-race card we're looking forward to. Let's get through all the business, then we'll get into handicapping this card. How do you feel about it today?
It's interesting. I mean, I think that you have a lot of favorites that maybe look a little bit vulnerable. Some of them look like they might be a little bit too tough to beat, but I think that if you can get past some of these heavy favorites, you're definitely going to get paid, and we do have that pick six carryover as well. We
do. We're going to have a promo for that here coming up. Just play all the action by getting signed up with NowRBets if you have not already. This is the offer. You probably know by now. $200 deposit match sign-up bonus. Punch in that promo code MATCH200 at sign-up. Use that QR code right there. Or go to NowRBets.com. Pick six carryover. Here we go. $24,422 begins today in the fourth. So that to look forward to coming up. We have a middle pick four as usual. That starts today in race 3. So that middle pick 4, 5, 6, and 7 in that third. $20 bonus in your account just for playing Aqueduct and Tampa. Bet $100 each on those two tracks today, and you get $20 bonus in your account whether you win or lose, but you got to opt in to take advantage of that promo. Cross country pick 5 every single day of Oaklawn. Going to pair up with Aqueduct and have this cross country pick 5. Paid almost $3,000 yesterday for the initial one of the meet. Begins with the 7th today at Aqueduct. That's before we come on air as well. So it begins at 3:12 Eastern time with that 7th at Aqueduct and our show. You can see us today. Late start, just a couple hours today. We're on 4 to 6 Eastern on FS2.
All the good parts.
Hopefully.
Right.
So we look forward to it. We will see you then with all of that coming up. All right, so today's action, let's get into it. Maiden special weight to kick off the card, 6.5 furlong sprint. And already Silo Ridge early wagering at even money. This horse is going to be an incredibly short price in this spot. Belmont, Leine Seidler, I know is excited about this horse. Jose Lezcano will be aboard. Digitize, freakishly good for Chad Brown, and this horse was right behind him in that race. There were 5 next out winners in that race he's coming out of. Yeah,
it's pretty incredible just what we've seen come out of that race. And I know that Digitize did win an off-the-turf race, but he's still improved, and it was very impressive when improving to a 94 buyer in his next start. And we can take a look at Silo Ridge running behind him, and this was a nice step forward for him, a horse that had run okay on debut, but certainly moving in the right direction. I'm not trying to beat him. You're not trying to beat him. I think that this is truly a horse that if he runs anything like this second place finish to Digitize, everybody else is going to be running for second. The early money certainly reflecting that. And at the same time, maybe you're a little bit concerned about that bet scratch, but he's been working very consistently well since then. So
I'm a little worried. Watch this stretch run. I am a little worried he didn't switch leads until the very end, right before the wire. That could wind up catching up with him at some point. We'll see if that's corrected today.
I just don't think it's today. Anybody else worth using underneath at a price, or anybody that you find a little bit interesting?
I mean, Login Required's interesting. You're on the 4th here. I have him 2nd, but I could absolutely see that horse improving. 3rd off the bench today. The horse has shown a lot of talent. Savings rate, pretty good horse who he was 2nd to last time out, Chad Brown runner. And that horse is very good chance going to be forward. Probably the horse on the lead in this spot. You could see a few horses stepping forward in here. Silo Ridge definitely took that huge move forward. Definitely the one to beat, and probably not even going to get even. He's going to be odds on in this spot, but
makes you a little nervous.
Yeah. I mean, he's really talented. He's way the horse to beat, but it wouldn't shock me if he got beat.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think he's a standout based on what we've seen so far. Look, as far as where I went with the horse that I ended up picking second, I went to Light the Way, who's just going to be the better option in terms of price of the 2 Michelle Nevin horses. Just one with a little bit more upside, but I think that he does need to take that big step forward and run a little bit quicker than we have seen from him. He was coming off of layoff last time when he was able to run 3rd to Login Required, so he needs to move a little bit more so in the right direction to be able to be competitive here. But I just thought he had a little bit more upside than Login Required, who's making his 7th start overall.
Yeah, I like the fact I have him 3rd in this spot. Dan was awesome
Yes.
Won just shy of $1 million, multiple stakes winner, grade 1 place. She was 10 for 20 in her career, produced Wonderful Light, who was a 5-time winner, grade 3 place, produced by the Moon, who won the grade 1 Ballerina. And this is the first time this horse gets on a fast track since the debut. At the debut, you can toss because it was first time out.
Right.
And Michelle Nevin likes to give him one anyway and kind of work him into form. So getting back on a fast track for the first time since that, here in start number 4, I think we could see a lot of a big move forward from Light the Ways. That horse is a danger, I think.
And he's going to be, I think, the best price of one of the ones that you can at least make a strong case for.
Race 2, pick 4, $40,000, mile and an eighth. 2-turn route race coming up in this spot. And, oof, I had trouble with this. I so wanted to go against No Burn in here.
I did as well.
Just a huge drop in class. Been facing so much better horses. And now, after he'd been off for 7 months, he comes back in 7 days.
It's a lot of red flags, honestly, but we can take a look at the last time that he was able to get the win, and we have to go all the way back to March of this year. But I mean, just facing a world of better horses last time with the likes of Win It and even Bourbon Calling, that was a good field that he was running against. Kind of an ambitious spot first off the bench, but I guess where else are you going to go with him? And he's just not going to face as much pace pressure either, at least on paper, as it looks in this field. Now, making that big drop in class, this is a horse that you know can handle the distance. He likes to be forward. I think he could find himself pretty comfortable alone on the lead and getting that big class relief. I just couldn't make a strong enough case for anybody else not to take this horse. And I, like you, I would love to have made a big case for somebody else because he's a little bit suspect.
I didn't like the fact, too, that he came back, and he's always been successful when he's forward. He was just sluggish. I mean, it didn't break bad, just didn't show that kind of
early
turn
speed.
of foot out of the gate that he usually does. Maybe it was just he's facing a lot better company, and that's why he wasn't able to. There's a very good chance he's just not the same horse. But having said that, look, huge drop, and maybe as a result of that, he doesn't have to be the same horse.
I think so, and I think that, I mean, the danger for me was Truculent on the outside, who was just in great form this summer for the Cantor Mossies, a 3-race win streak as he progressively stepped up in class as well and running similar kind of numbers while doing so. And even though he was 4th last time out at Parks, he still stepped up again a little bit in terms of his Beyer speed figure, so now coming back in for a tag. I just like that they weren't completely giving up on this horse either. It's not as though he's going back down to a lower level. He's going in for the $40,000 tag. So I thought that was a confident enough move, and I thought that he projected to be that horse sitting just off of No Burn if he does show that early speed like he used to.
Yeah, higher quality, a horse, the 3 with a couple of wins at this distance, faced a tough one in that last race last time out Sundays with Sandy. Very good horse for the level. Portos was in there. And I thought Funkenstein was interesting. I don't know if he's up to the mile and an eighth, we'll see, but he's put together now back-to-back starts. First 2 starts off a long layoff today, 3rd off the bench, but he's paired up those numbers where it looks like he's coming into a spot where he's going to take a big move forward, and if he does handle the mile and an eighth, I thought he'd be a major player in this race.
I thought about him. I was worried about the distance a little bit just like you, but I see that he is trending in the right kind of direction.
Middle pick 4. 7/8 of a mile, 25,000 non-winners of 2 claiming spot here in this 3rd race. And, wow, we agree here. What'd you like with Good Rapport?
It's mostly just not fully trusting a horse like G Munning, who takes this big drop in class and used to be kind of competitive at a much higher level. With Good Rapport, he's just been consistent over his last couple of races. They take the blinkers off now. And 2 starts ago, he was running behind Strong Light. Yes, it was for the $16,000 tag, but Strong Light is in really good form right now, and he came back to improve quite a bit. I don't love that he went off at such a short price last time and wasn't able to get the job done in that off-the-turf race, but he was really dueling on the front end with another horse in Blame D Rulemaker. They both got caught by Addicted to You. So I thought that now maybe being a little bit less aggressive, stalking a little bit more comfortably and in hand towards the outside again, that if he can get the similar kind of trip and still hold on without the pace being as contested, that he was just a good alternative to a horse that I don't fully trust.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it. I don't. It doesn't bother me at all. He got beat at that short price last time out because he did have to battle on the lead with that other horse. I mean, they were neck and neck, and that took all the starch out of him. I feel like in the stretch. So I forgive him that performance last start, and I feel like shortening up just a touch here to 7 furlongs might be perfect for him. He'll be able to relax with that equipment change, and as you said, I hope Ruben Silvera, he does not have to go to the front of the spot. If he can just sit off horses, because Hatch next door, likely going to show some speed in this spot. And if he gets the lead, fine. But even G Money in the past, at least last time out, he showed some quickness as well. But if he doesn't break sharp and get that lead and or even have to battle, he can just sit off and put in a big late run. I think that's going to make him difficult. For me, G Money, he's going to be such a short price. He only has one race. Even when he was good, I had heard about this horse before he ever ran, that he had a ton of talent.
Oh, a tip.
He looked very good when I believe it was his debut that he won.
Yes, yep. Actually beat Bold Journey.
He only has one figure in his 13 career starts that was this standout figure. All the other figures in here kind of match up with a lot of the other runners in this race. It was 4 starts back of this 4-year-old campaign for him. We had that one-off race. He's a one-number horse.
Yeah, his race
any
2
of-
back
And he was
doesn't make him
12
better.
other starts. He does not deserve to be even money.
I agree. And this is such a red flag kind of drop. And I get it. It's toward the end of the year. He's a 4-year-old gelding who's about to be 5. If he's not able to compete at the same level, the Chad Brown barn has a lot of horses. And I understand wanting to sort of move on from a horse that he hasn't been successful at the kind of levels that you want him to be over the last couple of races. But I agree with you. That race 2 back does not make him so much better than anybody else in the rest of this field with the 69 buyer that he ran when 3rd behind General Banker. Yes, it was tough for company, but it's not such a standout that I need to take him at such a short price over some others that you can make a little bit of a case for.
Yep, totally agree with you. That kicks off that middle pick 4. He's going to be very short, too. So if he can beat that horse in multi-race wagers.
I think that he's going to be such a standout single for so many people that I agree. He's going to play big in the multis for sure.
Race 4 starts this pick 6 carryover for the Saturday card. So $16,000 starter allowance at 6 furlongs. You have gone to Print Rack, who really took a huge, huge figure move forward last time out for Rudy Rodriguez.
He did, and he's just been in excellent form at the moment, able to string 3 wins together over his last 3 races. He projects to be forward in here. Kind of wondered what they were going to do with Chuck Willis off the claim, who's not going to be playing, so I think that makes his job a little bit easier on the front end, and I'm not trying to beat him. A horse that's just in insanely good form right now, and has also sort of progressively stepped up since being claimed by the Rudy Rodriguez barn and been able to perform at higher levels as well.
I just have a little trouble trusting that because thoroughgraph-wise, it was such a massive jump forward in that last start. I'm worried for one, it's just not correct, or that he may bounce off that. But there's no question, he's in incredible form right now. Ego Man, to me, that's where I went. You have that horse second.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened last time out. It just did not work out for him. But this is one of the most consistent runners that we're going to see on the entire card, maybe the most consistent runner on the entire card today. He shows up every single time, and he delivers. All prior 8 races to that race last time out, demolishes his field, with the exception of Print Rack, that one-off last start. That kind of puts him in the mix.
And that race last time, he was at an extremely short price. Something must have happened because that's just not who he is. He is not a 62 buyer kind of horse. As you mentioned before that, just ultra consistent. And I thought it was just clearly the other horse in this spot because if you just draw a line through that last race and everything else, major player
Colonel
horse to beat.
Bowman, who he beat 2 starts back. Colonel Bowman would be 1-9 in this field.
Exactly. And so I think with the scratch of him, Big Engine certainly not going to take the same amount of play as that coupled entry would have. And Big Engine's a horse that absolutely dropped off a cliff last time to get the win for a very low level. So I don't fully trust him to come back and.
I've been a fan of his, though. I mean, he's been around for a long time. He's done a lot of good.
Yeah, but
his better days are obviously behind him. But
right, exactly.
Yeah, he's had some big wins in his career.
He has.
Late pick 5, then we break?
Let's do it.
All right, so late pick 5 starts race 5, 7/8 of a mile, $12,000 claiming race, and one of the biggest scratches on the card today, Clem Labine, coming out, taking a massive drop in class for David Jacobson. He was going to be a huge favorite in here. So with him gone, you really have to rethink this race a little bit.
I agree. I mean, this is one of the bigger scratches on the card that certainly affects everybody's tickets, especially within that pick 6 as well, because who do you really lean on in here? I think that's a big question. So you found an interesting price, though, with a 15-1 morning line horse. Nobody rides for free.
Yeah, so I want to go into this horse, who actually in the race I had second anyway, even when Clem Labine was in this spot. He's coming off the 2 best figures of his entire career, back-to-back, off the bench. Now it's 3rd off the layoff. He's paired the same figure together in back-to-back starts, which quite often means you're going to take a move forward again. And last time out had a massive excuse, completely hopped up when the gates opened at the starting gate and had no chance. Last early in that race, and he put in actually a pretty big late run to make up some ground.
All right, fair enough. I mean, you're going to get a decent price on him, and where do you really trust anybody in here? I went to a horse that ran third last time out behind the aforementioned Big Engine, who was making that big drop in class, and it was for the $10,000 tag. But that was a day where I felt like the rail maybe not the most favorable place to be. Not exactly a full-on dead rail kind of day, but maybe more of an outside flow type of track. And he was a horse that he didn't make the lead right away, but he sort of rushed himself up into that position and ended up claiming the lead. And I thought he fought on pretty well to finish third behind a horse that was dropping so significantly in class, as well as a horse that was also taking a class drop and had primarily raced on the turf, both of them coming from a little bit further off the pace than he was. So I think that maybe it looks like a slight step up in terms of class here, but I think that this might end up being a less difficult field for him to find himself in. I think that if he shows the same kind of speed he did last time, he could be a threat.
All right, we're going to show you don't be late in this race. I wound up going to this race 3 starts back because it was what he's going to get basically today. It was the last time he was on fast track going a mile or relatively close to what he's doing this afternoon. So this was a third place finish back on October 12th. And Bold Victory would wind up winning this race. Hammer and Ammer's a tough older claimer, has been on the circuit for a long time.
Right now.
Yeah, would wind up second. And it looks like, is he going to be the one in front in this race?
It's possible. I mean, I think that it depends on how aggressive Ruben Silvera wants to be with winning drive. But either way, he's going to be in the nice outside stalking position right off of him or end up going forward and taking the lead. So I agree. I think he can definitely be forward, if not the one that's on the lead.
And Lane Lussey, dad now with his book. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. That's a nice story. We should dive deeper into that and possibly do a feature on that. But no, it's great for them and great to see Lane Lussey have some success here already. So yeah, no, it's been cool following the jockey colony over the winter because I think that you see a lot of people get more opportunities and really rise to the occasion.
Quick break, and then we'll pick things back up with the late pick 4.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Thank you to Saratoga Water. We're going to be getting to taste that a little bit earlier this summer than usual with the announcement coming out just a couple of days ago. Next year's Belmont Stakes will be at Saratoga for that Belmont Racing Festival in early June. It's so exciting.
Yeah, it's an opportunity that I think that a lot of people have a lot of big feelings about, but I'm looking forward to it. And I'm also looking forward to that purse increase. We'll see what kind of talent we're able to attract for this year's Belmont Stakes.
Yeah, I think everyone's excited about it. Rooms are basically gone. No reservations at restaurants. Everything's gone. So
good crowd. We'll be
get
on
the
hand.
last couple of scraps that remain if you're trying to make that trip up there for next year's Belmont to Saratoga. It's going to be special. Race 6 kicks off the late pick 4. New York Breds, maiden special weight, 6 furlong sprint coming up in this spot. It's interesting because Good Reunion, the remaining half of the entry now, and I think it was the half of the entry was getting played in here. Obviously, the other half had a chance too, but such a big figure from Good Reunion. It was a lot bigger on Thoroughgraph than it was too Buyer speed-wise, but horse stepping up in class, likely going to be your favorite here.
You think so? I thought that they were going to be betting Barry Funny because he's a horse that actually had a couple of trips in his starts, and he's taken a ton of money. So
and they both had a
it'll be
chance.
interesting.
His figure was massively better on
Really?
the numbers I look at.
Okay, interesting. Cool.
But both had a chance, no question. Where did start with you? What'd you like about Roland and Doe?
Yeah, I went to a first-time starter in here, a horse that sold for $100,000 a central banker, and this is one that is half to a debut winner. Another one was third in their first start, so some decent precocity within the family. Just saw some sharp works. I know they were over at Turfway, but I think it's interesting that this horse then decides to come here to make the debut, taking advantage of the New York bred program. And Jonathan Thomas certainly can get a first-time starter ready. With 3-year-olds and up, he is 20% over the past 5 years. So I just wasn't in love with some of the horses that had experience. And then the other one for me was just Caldo Candy, who I thought everybody was really interested in last time, returning off a little bit of a layoff, because he's a horse that had such a terrible start in his debut and had made up some significant ground in there to finish third at a price. But I wasn't in love with his last race.
Okay, fair enough. I have him second. I should have picked Good Reunion. I actually was going to show Very Funny. He scratched, but I should have put a Good Reunion as well, because this race is, if you've not seen it, you should take a look at it. And this is why I like this horse. It's a sign of confidence from Rudy Rodriguez. He's in a State Bred Maiden 40, and now off that, he jumps him up to State Bred Maiden Special, and it is completely warranted with what this horse did first time out. Slow start, he got bumped. Second last out of the gate. He was wide all the way around the racetrack, rushed up early in that race, and then he just keeps motoring away, picking off horses, keeps on coming, and he takes the lead, looked like he was going to win that race. I don't know how he actually lost. Kentucky Joker, who got a pretty big figure in that race too, was able to come from well off the pace and beat him. It was a huge effort. He got the biggest number anybody's run anything close to in this field, thoroughgraph-wise, and I see why Rudy is bumping him up in class now for this second start. I thought there was a lot to like with this horse.
And I think that given the first-time starters who are relative unknowns, and then you have the Mighty Don on the outside, aside from that, I mean, these are horses that he should be able to be competitive against, at least. This does not look like one of the more stacked maiden special weight fields that we have seen as of late. So I get wanting to take a chance with this horse on that class move up. And then, I mean, as far as everybody else, it's just kind of we've either seen a little bit of enough from them or we don't know anything about them.
Yeah, first-timer Flipstream.
I thought a little
we don't
interesting.
know, maybe some works that we don't know how they did it, but hint that there's maybe some talent there with this horse. Bellamy Road, first-time starter.
Full to a dirt sprint debut winner. Bruce Levine, certainly good with his first-time starters. Positive ROI in dirt sprints. So maybe some things to like with that one.
Yeah. All right, race 7/8 of a mile. I'm more excited to watch this horse today than I think anybody all
else.
weekend long. Awesome Native has been absolutely awesome. The last couple of starts, he should have won that race too back. He had nowhere to go
I know.
and should have been a winner in that performance.
I agree.
He came back to win last time out. He got beat. One of the rare defeats on dirt. He should have a much better record than he has on dirt. Even that race at 7/8 when he got beat, that was a horse who was alone in front, ran 100 Beyer back-to-back starts that beat him that day. This horse is very good and has a potent late closing kick.
And he's a horse that I know that he got a decent pace set up last time to get the win, but even when things don't completely go his way with getting that set up, he can still be effective as well. He is just awfully tough. I'm not trying to beat this horse either. I have a lot of respect for him. This is one of those types of races where I'd love to play against these types of favorites and find some sort of alternative or horse to beat him. But these are the races that you feel a little bit more like a fan of racing because he's just awfully good, and I'm excited to see him run as well. I couldn't make the strong case for anybody else in this spot. I think that Legends Can't Die is an interesting horse, but he'll have to run a race that we haven't necessarily seen yet to beat Awesome Native.
I think everybody has to run a race that we haven't seen yet from them to beat. This horse is just good. He did have that traffic trouble where he got beat, and that's what kept him from winning. But I guess they're not going to take. They learned that lesson.
Don't take the
last
chance.
time out. Let's stay outside. He's that much better.
Exactly.
The horse who was when he had that traffic trouble, Frat Pack, who was second in that race, he'd been third to Ever So Mischievous.
He's not so bad.
Yeah.
Right.
This horse is very talented. I guess there's the question. You never know. Is 7/8? Is he going to be as effective with that closing kick as he has been going 6.5?
I mean, it's fair. He was second in his lone start at 7 furlongs at a very short price. So maybe you get a little bit worried about that, but I'm not overly concerned. I mean, I think that he's just maybe even possibly going to be a little bit better now than he was than we had seen in the past. So I'm not trying to beat him. If you do beat him, I think that you're going to get paid in the late multis, but that's not the course that I'm going to travel.
Yeah, and I thought it looks like there's a few that do want to go and be forward in this race, so he may get a fine setup.
I agree, and I think that, I mean, Legends Can't Die is one of them. He's run really well to finish second in both of his last two starts, one of them on the turf, and I'm still not fully convinced that he lost that photo to Fluid Situation, but he's a horse that wants to be forward. There are other horses, as you mentioned, that do want to show some speed, so I couldn't take him on top.
All right, let's move on. Race 8, Garland of Roses, fillies and mares 3 and up. It's a 6 furlong sprint. We know one thing for sure. Butch Reed's reign over stakes races of the weekends is coming
Been
to an end here. Disco Ebo, I thought was a massive standout in here, has been scratched, will not run, had the speed, rail on the inside here in incredible form. Not going to go today. So with that one coming out, with self-isolation, another one going to be forward coming out. How much does that help Olga Isabel?
I think it's significant because she was going to be one more pace factor, and you knew that the plan, at least with her, was going to definitely be to go because of the rail draw. So I think that you're dealing with quite a bit of speed still left in this race, but it certainly does take at least one horse out of it. And so often we see these paces on paper look one way, and then they don't actually play out that way on the racetrack. So I think it's a very significant scratch, and only a horse who had a serious chance to win this race, but a pace factor for sure. And while it does help Olga Isabel, I don't think that she's alone in front still. You still have horses like Headland as well as Hot Fudge that can show some early speed, even though she is cutting back in distance from the mile. She's been able to show some speed at shorter distances in the past. So I went a little bit off the reservation here, but I respect all three of the outside horses.
All right, I just think she's quicker. I think she gets the lead. But yeah, I mean, Headland has shown pace in the past. I just think they have to go with Olga Isabel, and she is very quick. But what'd you like with Can't Hurry Love?
Do you remember that one race where she didn't break and she finished second to I'm Buzzy? Do you know what I'm talking about? That one
where
effort?
she lost by a nose? That was,
Yeah.
wow, that was a ways back, yeah.
It was, but I think that in that effort, I know that that's not where they wanted to be early, but I think that in that effort, she at least showed that she can come from off the pace if she needs to. And while I don't know that those are the plans and the tactics for today, I love knowing that that's a move that she's capable of. And while she didn't really run her race last time, she was facing some pretty decent horses, and Green Up, Frank's Rocket, and even Into Happiness has been in great form as well. So I think that in that situation, getting that race under her belt coming into here, it was probably just a prep, and they don't drop her in class. I mean, they try another stakes effort with her. So if she can return to some of her races in the past, she's going to be a big price today. Maybe if she can figure out some sort of stalking trip. I know that post position doesn't really help her. I think that she could be a little bit interesting in here, and I wanted to make enough of a case for her, and then I was like, well, I might as well just put her on top if I actually really like her enough.
Okay. We're going to take a look at Headland. She's not going to be that, I mean, especially with the scratches too, what, maybe 6-1?
Yeah. But I think that there's a big chance she'll be the longest shot in the field.
This is Headland in that Grade 2 Gallant Bloom, and when she got DQ'd and placed third.
This was a game effort. I mean, she was the one doing all the dirty work. This was a double disqualification, so we saw Caramel Swirl end up getting put up as your winner. But, I mean, she was 18-1 that day. Nobody was taking her seriously, and she ran a huge race.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. I mean, she is coming out of that turf sprint, and she wasn't having the lead in that race, but she is quick, and she was on the lead in that Gallant Bloom. She's shown pace in the past. What happens here with this 7-year-old mare now while she's getting up there? 680,000 in earnings. But that could go a long way to what's going to happen in this race here. And Hot Fudge on the outside for Linda Rice, likes to be forward. I don't think has any opportunity to get to the front today.
I don't think she's going to be in front either. I mean, I think that it would have to be some sort of all-out send, and they would have to be so committed to getting the lead, and I don't think that she needs it to win. So I don't really see that playing out for her. And also, this is a horse that was off for quite some time, came back with the win last time out. But do you worry a little bit about the short rest now for her?
Well, I didn't pick her, but yes, no, Linda's so good with that.
Yeah. It's not really a concern.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that she'd be fine. And also, she's a horse that when she did break her maiden, she was off really slowly and came rolling from the back. So I think that there are options for her, especially with that outside post.
Yeah. I mean, you can make a case for almost everybody in this race.
This is kind of like
Yeah.
yesterday's feature race where you could tell me that anybody won, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Ready for the nightcap?
I'm ready.
All right, race 9 to close it out. New York Breds, maiden special weight. We're both alive at the pick 6 to this point.
Oh, of course.
How deep are we? Are you singled here?
No, I think that I would need to use at least the outside two, maybe even a third. What would you think? Would you single?
No, this group, no. Scarlet's Dream, wow, you have her fourth in this spot. I did think she was going to be tough here, just the fact that she faced Money Grab last time out. It was a 4-5 favorite that went gate to wire. She actually battled that horse on the front end. So that's why I like that performance even a little bit better. And now she is able to shorten up. This is a look at that race. That she's on the outside here, and she's just going to weaken a little bit late against one who was supposed to win, and it was a long way back to third.
I agree. I mean, I think that this is clearly the horse to beat, and if she shows anything like she did last time, she's going to be awfully tough in here. I just didn't want to take a short price on her, and I thought there were some interesting alternatives, but I agree. And I think that, too, you look at that big improvement from first time out, 38 buyer, to second time out, 62 buyer. Well, I think that that's a number where you can maybe say it looks a little bit slower than it actually was, because we saw Dolomite come back and run pretty well. So I kind of wonder if she was being a little bit misjudged in that race, as was Money Grab, because there was such significant improvement for both of them in this next start. I ultimately did go in a different direction with a horse who's switching surfaces, but has plenty of dirt pedigree with Fabulous Fox for the Christophe Clement barn. This is a half to a horse that we know on the circuit, White Chocolate, who is a dirt horse. So I just thought would appreciate the surface, and actually didn't run that badly first time out on the turf. So I thought that if this one could handle the surface, would be a fair enough price. Switching
Go
over.
back, all of you, and just look at the highlight reel, Jason Williams. Unbelievable. The moment for me, I don't know if you're a huge NBA fan, but Gary Payton's guarding him, one of the best defenders in the NBA at that time, and Jason Williams does this behind the back stutter step, and he just stands still and his jaw drops on the floor like, what just happened? He was just incredible with the basketball passing. Wow. Dolce Veloce, I want to go back to the 3 and talk about this. Why was this horse 1-2 last time out?
I don't know. There's another Mott horse that has taken insane money. I think his name is Rocket Knight in a couple of his starts, and I don't know why yet. And this horse was such a short price for kind of no reason to me. And I didn't want to take this horse at such a short price again today. But at the same time, we also had a McPeak horse who was extremely short in his debut, win yesterday at yet another short price. So I don't know. I feel like the money is meaningful for horses when they are such short prices on debut, but oftentimes I don't want to base my opinion going into another race just based on, oh, well, this horse took money first time out if they really didn't do much running.
I mean, you're going to want this horse multi-race race. There's
yeah.
got to be
I
talent there. There had to be a
wouldn't
reason
leave
why
out
this horse was
completely.
so short. Maybe it was, I don't know, maybe the sale they're coming out of and the work that horse produced at the sale. There's a reason this horse was that short.
Yeah.
I would give this one another chance. I didn't see any real excuses, but again, first time
Right.
out, can always forgive.
What about Photo Finish? Huge price, first time out, 43-1. Ashburn Alley seems like could be okay for the Breen Barn. Ran second to that one. I don't know about who they were really finishing ahead of, but blinkers go on, outside post.
Yeah, I mean, look, it wouldn't shock me. 43-1 last time out, and now it's going to be what, like 4-1 maybe.
Yeah, I don't love that.
There's other. I way prefer Scarlet Stream in this spot, and I have to use Dolce Veloce. But yeah, I mean, the horse would not shock me at all.
Yeah. Interesting last race. I think that it's those 4, and then you decide what order you want them in.
Yeah. All right, that is today's card. Good luck to everybody getting after it. Again, pick 6 today begins in race 4. Got that middle pick 4 as well, and our coverage on the program starts late this afternoon, 4 Eastern start time on our FS2 coverage. Horse you're most looking forward to seeing today?
Oh, Awesome Native.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait. See if you can get that 7 furlongs. Get signed up, started, play everything with Naira Bets. $200 deposit match sign up bonus with that promo code MATCH200 on the app or at nairabets.com. Pick 6 carryover. Are you going to play today?
Pick 6?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a tough sequence. I think that Awesome Native is the standout single for many people. I think that I would have to go really deep in the feature. I don't have a super strong opinion anywhere else. We'll see. We'll see.
Yes or no would have been fine, but okay.
Are you going to play today, Greg? Just trying to be honest.
Just going to take it offline and have a longer discussion about
Yeah,
it.
we'll see.
$24,000 carryover in the pick 6.
Jeez.
Middle pick
Rough
4
crowd.
begins in race 3. Look forward to that coming up. And don't forget, $20 bonus in your account. Get a little extra ammo for all these wagers. Bet $100 each on Aqueduct in Tampa Bay. Got to opt in for that promotion. Cross country pick 5 should have been the wager I played yesterday. I hate those
Did
days
you
where
like,
you make a
that wild
choice.
long shot?
What's that?
Did you like that wild long shot?
I did. I had that horse on the pick fives I played.
Wow. You definitely should have played yesterday.
Well, I played the Oaklawn pick five and was 4 out of 5 and missed. Had that horse.
That's
But I
rough, because
would've
you like
hit-
Peak of Chic?
Of course, I would have hit the cross country pick five that I did not play.
Oh, yeah, well, I would have hit
my
the pick 6 when I don't play
Peak
today.
of Chic was a single for me.
Yeah, you like that horse.
Yeah. And I have nothing to show for it.
Disappointment.
I love days like that. Every day, again, at the meet at Oaklawn, we're going to have that cross country pick five, so we look forward to it. 3:12 Eastern start time today, and our coverage on FS2. 4 Eastern start time on America's Day at the Races. We will see you then. Look forward to it. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Greg.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.